Man, I'll tell you, if you hit the wrong button on your computer, everything goes away. Just so you know, just in case you guys are wondering. Oh, don't you love it? Puerto Rico is really easy. Actually, there's something on our cell phone that we keep track of days. Real simple. It's
What's
real
up,
simple.
Gene?
Hey guys, we don't mess up. Believe me, I spend over 200 days a year here because I love it. The weather's too good.
Looking good, Gene. You got your tan going, I can tell.
I'm telling you, the tan is here. The tan is here. I mean, I'm about
That's
as tan
awesome.
as I've ever been in my life. But
Yeah. Well, hey, let's get into it, Gene. Thanks for coming on today. Really appreciate it. We got a great crowd. We're live streaming into our Facebook group, and we'll be sending out the replay. So everyone, make sure you stick for the full time. Gene's just going to be on for the first 20 or minutes or so. Then we're going to have our typical top attractor interview right after Gene shares some motivating and inspirational stuff with us. So we really wanted to focus this call and have Gene on to talk about the power of events. We obviously have Build coming up July 10th through the 12th, and the room block, the discounted rate for the JW Marriott in San Antonio, beautiful resort, water park. You can bring the family. That room block ends tomorrow night. I'm not sure what time, so if you're going to go, make sure you get it today or tomorrow morning. It could sell out. So let's talk a little bit, Gene, about that. So I know for me personally, everything changed for me when it came to attraction. When I went to my first EXP Con 2017, Fort Lauderdale, and just getting around the people, being in that energy, it changed everything. If you just want to talk a little bit about maybe why you think events are important for other people to come to, or maybe how it's kind of changed the way you do business.
To me, guys, I started doing this. This is not an EXP thing. I started inviting people to events when I was with Keller Williams as a team leader in 2004. Most of you guys weren't born. I see all the women on here. They weren't born. 2004. And Susan and I became famous at Keller Williams because we were the first ones to invite people to the Keller Williams National Convention. Okay, all I did when I came here 8 years ago, my first convention, I just did what I did then. And I invited Rob Flick, Scott and Tracy Lewis to the first event. Guess what? They signed up. Guys, at that event in 2015, we had 135 people total. It was a one-day event, but it changed EXP's life forever. The next year, guess who we invited? Some dude, I don't know, Brent Gove, some guy, you know. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. We invited Brent Gove, Sheila Fageron did, 1 week before the event. 1 week before the event. And he came. Now, what's funny, what you got to do, and I got that was 2016, changed our company forever. I saved him seats at the dinner. You know, I treated him like, okay, I saved him places because I went, man, if we could get Brent Gove. At that time, we had about 1,500 agents. The next year, who do we invite? Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Al Staby. You know, when I look at all of this, guys, what events do is do what you can't do one-on-one. I can remember shaking AJ's hand in 2017. He showed me the picture from the event that Rob and I did at the Italian restaurant and had people there. You can do things at events that you can't do in person. We've always invited people to our rooms, and had events. We just did it again at the shareholders. And we probably had 120 people try to squeeze into Brent Gove's room. And you can invite your recruits to that and see the energy and see what we're doing. Bar none, I recruit event to event to event to event. I've been doing it since 2004. I think it works. I'm a one-trick pony.
Yeah, it's worked pretty good. For those of you that may not know the legend, Gene Frederick, maybe you're newer to EXP or maybe you're just getting involved in attraction and just been busy selling tons of houses, which is awesome as well. But this is obviously an attraction call. Gene has obviously been with the company for 8 years now, board of directors, and has just over 16,000 or so agents in your group, Gene.
Pretty close.
Nice. So Gene has one of the top 2, 3 largest rev share organizations in the company, all 7 levels open. So absolutely crushing it. So when Gene shares knowledge, we all want to be listening. And fellow neighbor here in Puerto Rico, Gene will obviously be at Build, co-leading it as always. And we're doing a special event too. If you guys are interested, we're doing a special Game Changers night. Shoot me a DM. It's kind of like a VIP event. Space is super limited, and it'll be kind of first come, first serve basis. And so if you guys are interested in checking that out, let me know as well. So Gene, so if people are kind of on the fence about coming to this specific event, and I say, they hear me say it every week, Gene, it's like you're not even in the game of attraction yet if you're not coming to the events. There's been no top earning rev share earner that hasn't plugged into events at least at some point in their journey with this thing. So what can they expect? Like maybe talk a little bit about the energy, maybe, some of the speakers, or just maybe how to get the best use out of an event like Build.
Well, here's what you want to do. Number one, like I said, when it does things you can't do personally, I let my people go. I said, go talk to as many agents as you can, get a feeling for who we are. And that's what Brent did when he came. The energy level is off the charts. Guys, I went to every Keller Williams event for 21 years. There were 2 of them a year, so that's 42 events. This is on steroids. If you come from the KW world, these events are on steroids. And I literally tell people, just go talk to folks. Go get to meet as many people as you can because it's a different model. We're sharing everything because we're all partners together. Now, saying that, guys, you have to go. When I say that, I don't know of any top producers. Now, this is going to be a little bit different this year, right? Because Build 23, we're going to talk a lot about production. It's going to be a good production meeting. Tell your recruits, hey, if you want to learn more about production in this market and how to make it through this shifting market, whatever you guys use, I call it a downturn because it's my 4th downturn. And I got news for you. I've recovered on all 4 of them. Come and learn how agents are doing it. Why wouldn't you learn from agents all across the country? We have so many speakers. We have great national speakers, but I love to hear from the agents. I love to hear what's working in every different market. That's what I would tell them. And everybody's sharing. It's almost like a bunch of TED Talks. I tell people, if you guys like TED Talks, I did during COVID. I know the top 10 TED Talks because COVID was too boring. So I started looking up stuff and I really do. You're right. I can tell you which ones they are. Well, these are like little 10 to 15-minute TED Talks on what they're doing that's working well in their market. Wouldn't you love to learn that? Why don't you come with me? I'll share a room or I'll have somebody share a room with you. Offer to pay for a night or 2 in their room. Whatever you want to do. I would, if I had somebody that I knew it would benefit from, I'd pay a night in the hotel for them. It's only $280, something like that.
It's kind of silly. We have a lot of big producing agents in our group and on this call. And, I remember when I was selling, Gene, I was spending $6,000 a month on Zillow leads and pay-per-click leads just to stay on the transaction treadmill. I don't want to fly off it. So I had to keep building my team, keep spending money on the leads. And yet those who really want to earn maybe a 6-figure income from revenue share, or maybe a 7-figure year income from revenue share, they're just like kind of poking a stick at it, not investing any money into it. And this is a simple way to really just get people in front of the opportunity. It's not an EXP pitch, but it's in the energy. It's around the people. And this year special discount this year for guests, 50% off a guest. So if you've already bought your ticket, you can just log in and add a guest and you get 50% off their ticket, which is awesome. If you haven't yet booked, but you want to bring a guest, add to the cart when you check out. I know, Gene just shared like all the heavy hitters that joined EXP who joined because of the events. We could list hundreds more because these events truly work. And we have this saying, Gene, big decisions are made at big events, right? There's just something magical that happens when you're sitting in the audience. It's in the production value is insane. I think last year was like $1 million just on the production value, like the stage, lights, all that. The lights are low. They got the music playing, the energy's high. Then the speakers come out and they share these stories of how this opportunity changed their lives, and people are crying and people are fired up. It's just this really cool environment, and it allows you, maybe for the first time ever, to truly make the decision to pursue rev share at a high level. Because there's one thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do rev share. And there's another thing where it's like, I'm going all in, no plan B. This is my retirement plan. And that's what happened for me, both in my real estate sales career at my first coaching conference in 2013, and then again in 2018 or 2017, the end of 2017, when I went to EXPCon. I decided. And what's funny about it, I remember sitting, Gene, at EXPCon, and randomly was sitting by Kyle Handy. So that's how our friendship started. And I remember sharing with him and some other people. I was like, yeah, I got, I think at the time it was like 47 people in my group. I was like, I got 47 in my group. And I remember people being excited about that. And I was like, wow, I might be onto something. So I went back from that event and really burned the bridges. And within it would have been another 8-9 months from that first event, I was making about $2,000 a month in rev share. 8-9 months later, after burning the bridges, going all in, I was already up to $25,000 a month in rev share. And had I not gone to the event, I would have kept doing what I've always done. And there's no doubt there's people on this call today that need to do something different if they want the results that they desire. It's like, if we always do the same thing, we're always gonna get the same results. And that's I believe maybe the definition of insanity, right, Gene?
Let me tell you how I explain it to folks. And you can do this with your recruits. This is a script I use almost every single day. You guys know that in 2022, last year, EXP paid out how much in rev share? Do you guys know the number? $202 million. Write it down. $202 million in 2022. Kind of easy to remember. Ooh. Okay. What I will tell all of you guys on the call, don't you think in the next 4 years, I mean, I'm not blowing this thing out, but in the next 4 years, I'm estimating we'll pay out $1 billion in rev share. Just $1 billion. Now, you guys know our numbers. Only 10% of EXP agents are getting part of the billion. How much of the billion do you want? It's that simple. Now, where's the billion going at every other company? This is how I talk to agents. So if they're working at Remax, I go, that's going to Dave Liniger and the owners of your office, right? The regional. If you're working for KW, that's going to Gary Keller and the people that the regional owners and the owners of your office. I said, every company's making that billion. You're just not getting it. At our company, you have the opportunity to get it. And you know what? When they say, well, I heard only 10 or 12% of the people get it, I go, I know. Isn't that crazy? I just want to be one of the 10 or 12%. Guys, it's there for you. It is there for you. And I'm just telling you, this is revolutionary. Just so you know, Gary Keller, I worked there 21 years. Love Gary. Loved the company. Never got part of that money. You know what? It's there. It's there for all of us. 202 million last year. It's going to be 250 this year. It's going to be 250 to Weber. Hi, Lisa. I see all these people I know. It's so funny. You guys got it. This is something you have to, in your mind, go, I'm going to go get it. How do I get
into that?
Yeah. And well, you go to the event. If you're not even excited or don't know how to get it, come to the event yourself. Bring people on your first level, second level, third level. Bring anybody you can, because I'm telling you, it will get them fired up. I see Kathy. I see all these people I know. They've been to these events. They've seen us. I mean, bottom line is, I just don't miss events. I just don't miss events. This is what's so easy about this, right? And you got to be passionate about it. You got to tell your people, look, and come with me. I'll share the room. I've shared rooms with people. I've done whatever. I'm getting them there. Brent Gove goes, Gene, if you wouldn't, we got him there. Wow, did he change our company? Did Jay and Michael change our company? My gosh, and Albie. That whole group. Gosh. Well, we got AJ there.
It's safe to say if we weren't doing these events over the last 7-8 years, we'd probably have less than 10,000 agents, and all these lives wouldn't be changing.
Yep.
So, Lars, I see you're on. Lars has 1 billion sitting there for us to grab. I mean, when you threw that stat out, Gene, I was like, oh my gosh, like what a number. I mean, what is 1% of a billion? What is that like? Is that 100 million or 10 million? If
I
somebody
don't know, but I'm going for
better
3%
than
of
me.
it. I'm going for 3% of it myself. You guys get the other 97%.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, I'll take 1%, whatever that is. I know 1% is a lot. I'm going for 1%.
I just
It's such an amazing thing that we're doing here, guys. And I just want it so bad. You know, everyone, if you're there, come say hi to me. Would love to meet you guys there and say hi to Gene. You know, what's cool about these events, I remember, you know, I was KW too, Gene, and going to the mega camp and family reunion, and like all the people that were at the top that were on stage that I wanted to meet. The events were either too big, so I just couldn't find them, maybe, or maybe they were hiding. You know, like for sure, Gary Keller wasn't walking through the hallways. But you go to our events and you see Glenn Sanford walking through the hallways, you can stop and have a conversation. All the top people that you maybe want to learn from or you're inspired by are walking around, mingling. And that was the biggest thing that I noticed when I went to my first event. But we only had 2,400 agents and now approaching 90,000. That feel and that culture hasn't changed, which I thought, to be honest, I thought it would have. You know, at 90,000 agents, I didn't think Glenn would have been walking around the hallways at these events chatting, because, you know, you just get busy, you know, with everyone wanting your time, and everyone's still
I noticed that
available.
people you might want to put the link in on how to get there in the link when I'm gone. The other thing I was going to tell you is one of my top recruits, he says, I'm going to come to he didn't tell me what he was going to do. Guess what? He came to the event in New Orleans and he secretly said, I want to see if I can actually shake Glenn Sanford's hand. Because he says, I've been with Keller Williams forever and I can't shake Gary Keller's hand. I've never met Gary Keller. So guess what? He came to the event in New Orleans. He partied with Glenn at the party. And he says, oh my God. So what you said, AJ, is so true. It's so funny. He didn't tell me he was going to do that. But when he did that, he went, oh my gosh, this is different. I said, I told you. I'm just telling you. Let them talk to everybody. If you guys, and I'll throw this out there, AJ, because you guys are the guys driving, you are the 10% that's driving this company. If you need me to meet with any of your recruits, set it up with me. AJ, I'll put my cell phone out there. You guys know I'm a texter. Kathy's done it before. I know other people have at these meetings. If you go, Gene, I want to have a meeting. I want to have a breakfast or a lunch with my recruit with you. I'm in.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, Gene. That's one of the best ways to utilize these events is when you get people there, when you get recruits there, even if someone's that's newly recruited, you know, ping people in the company, ping me, ping Gene. We want to meet your new recruits. We want to meet your people looking at the company. It's a great way for them to, from day one, get buy-in. I don't think I've ever had anyone at an event that hasn't joined. Of course, some people don't join when they go to events. You know, we can't say it's 100% success rate. However, my success rate is 100%. And I know a lot of people's are, because what we're doing, the value proposition is just so high that when people really see what we're truly doing over here and see it for what it is, they have to say yes to it. So, and that's with zero EXP pitch at these events. Like not once is there an EXP explained at these events if you've never been. It's just the stories of lives changing and then how they did it. How did someone go from joining EXP to making $400,000 a year or $400,000 a month in revenue share? Like those are the tips and strategies being shared from stage. It's really cool. Gene, we're almost up on the 20 minutes. If you want to end with anything, that would be awesome. Really appreciate you coming on today. And
I've got
can't
enough.
wait to
Thank
can't
you.
wait for the event.
I'll give you one more good script I've been using. Can I give you another script?
Yes, please.
5 years ago, if you took $100,000 and you went to your spouse or your significant other, you go, I'm going to invest it in what I know, real estate. So if you're at Coldwell Banker or Century 21, you would have taken that 100,000 and invested it into a company called Anywhere. Guess what? 5 years go by. Guess what the $100,000 is worth? $25,000. Oops, I'm sorry, I messed up. I invested in my own company. 5 years ago, if you were at Remax, you go, you know what? I believe in Remax. We're going. You put 100,000 in Remax stock. 5 years later, guess what it's worth? $30,000. Oh, sorry, honey. I messed up again. I just don't know how to invest money. But you know what? Here comes the new shiny object. Here it comes. I'm going to do this one. So 2.5 years ago, you took the 100,000 and you invested into the shiny object called Compass. That $100,000 is now worth $16,000. Those are all old-fashioned models. They're all broker driven. They're all tops down. If you had taken the $100,000 5 years ago and invested it into a small little company called EXPI, it'd now be $250,000. Now I'm going to ask you guys, and I ask the recruits, Lisa, let me ask you a question. What do you think is going to happen the next 5 years? Do you think you're going to still be shopping at JCPenney's and Sears? Or do you look outside your door and 60% of your sales are boxes sent to you by Amazon? So do you think the next 5 years are going to be any different than the last 5 years? I think not. Just so you know, I'm going with the future company, EXPI. Boom shakalaka. I'm just telling you, I know where I am. I know where I am, guys. Think in 5 year spurts. Don't think. Realtors think in short spurts. I think 5 years from now, man, I can't wait to see what our stock does. You know why? I'm thinking 5 years from now. I'm not thinking next month. Today. I hardly check it every day. Does that help you guys? Just so you know, I just pulled that from stock. Just, you can do that yourselves. Just pull 5 years on your stock. Boom, boom, boom. Do you notice I didn't mention a lot of the other companies? You know why? They're not competition. I'm sorry. Those are the big boys. Those are the ones with 350,000 agents. That's anywhere. 150,000 agents. That's Remax nationwide. We're at 88. We're still smaller than them, quite honestly, by agent count. So the bottom line is, guys, we don't talk enough about the stock. We talk about rev share. We talk about other things. Be a stock promoter. And I guess what? AJ, I can't wait to see all you guys at the event. I'm taking pictures right now. I'm looking right now. I'm looking at you. I see Stacy smile. I see Aaron. You guys are, I'm going to see you guys in a few weeks. I'll get a haircut today, so it'll look better. It'll look better, but okay.
It looks pretty good right now, Gene. Yeah. Who's going to be in that room? Gene, are you going to share your nickel story from stage?
I think I might. I don't know. But if I do, it'll be fun. It'll be worth it. Yeah.
So Gene has a very cool story about a nickel that if you guys are there, you might get a chance to hear. But Gene recently got one of his bucket list items on his vision board, his beautiful, I don't want to call it a boat because it's definitely a yacht, and it's this beautiful masterpiece sitting right out there outside his window there in the harbor in his backyard. Amazing what we can do with EXP. Quite fabulous. So congratulations on that milestone this year, Gene. That's really awesome.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for letting me come on. You got a good group.
Yeah, thanks, Gene. Appreciate you.
I'll take off. See you guys.
See ya.
Woohoo.
Cool. Awesome. So
Thank you.
Legend Gene Frederick. So yeah, guys, that's the power of events. I wanted you guys to hear it from one of our fearless leaders at the top. And what's cool is Gene, he doesn't maybe know this, but he's a game changer. He's in all of our upline. So we come from the Gene Frederick lineage, all of Game Changers Nation. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll get started with the interview here in a minute with Lisa Axios. Cami, how many events are there per year? There's usually 2 big attraction events. One's in Cabo. The last couple of years it's been in Cabo. And then this one coming up has been in Texas the last 3 years. And then we have our company events. So these are non-company events. These are put on by Brent Gove and Gene. And then the company events are shareholders and EXPCon as the 2 big ones. Although at a company level, we're going to start doing regional events. So like coming to a city near you, like your people can drive to it. So people don't got to fly and buy hotel rooms. And they're going to scratch shareholders is the current plan. So we'll just have our big national EXPCon, and then these regional events, which have already started taking place. We already had a bunch of them a few months ago. So that's good. That's a really cool strategy that I haven't seen any other brokerage do from a recruiting and a retention standpoint. Because, what is your excuse? We have 100+ people on this call. I saw, someone's excuse is they can't afford it. They can't buy a plane ticket. They can't afford the hotel room. They can't afford the ticket price. They don't want to take the time away from their family or their business. So if you can just get in your car and in an hour, half hour, 2 hours, just take the day, drive to an event that's a high production value event, hundreds of people, not thousands, but hundreds, for like $50, $97, $27. I'm not sure what they charged. It's just a really cool way to get more people in the company involved. So I'm super excited about that. So there are a lot of events. Kathy said, yeah, Hawaii. That was in Maui. Thanks for pointing that out, Kathy. There was an event in Maui that took place in February. I'm not sure if they're doing that annually. That was just this year, from what I've seen. Carolina, anyone hosting local monthly meetings and seeing any fruit from them? Yeah, we can chat about that a little bit more, but yes, people are definitely doing monthly meetings and seeing fruit from them. If you're looking to build at a local level, even if it's just 3 people in your organization, you should be doing like every 2 weeks or every month or every week, like getting those people together and doing meetings at least with them. And then also bringing in outside guests would be the idea, but we can do a whole call on that. If you want to ping me, Carolina would be happy to have a special call just for that strategy. We've done that in the past. Thanks, James. So Maui will be in 2024 also. So if you guys want to go to Hawaii, which I know, Lars, you're going in the next month, I think you were telling me. But if you guys want to go to Hawaii, like Lars is next month, and I went to my honeymoon was in Maui about 13 years ago, 12 years ago. Then plan for that in February, and it'll be an attraction event, and that makes it a write-off. So if you guys are crushing it and need some write-offs, it's a good reason to go to Hawaii and have an awesome vacation. Robert, I was cracking up your comment. Robert says it took 7 years to meet Gary Keller when he was at KW, and he was in the top 100 mastermind group. And then at EXP, he met Glenn 2 times before even joining. That's awesome. Cool. Good stuff, everybody. Thanks for being on for that. So without further ado, let's get into the interview. Lisa, can you hear me? Are you on? You ready to rock?
I'm here. Yes. Hello.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm excited for today's interview. Lisa, when we got you on for this one, I was excited because you're early on in your attraction journey, and I know you have big goals, and this wasn't planned, but you're also former Keller Williams, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah. So a lot of Keller Williams agents.
I'm sure I saw you at an event. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. So let's just take it back real quick. So prior to EXP, you were at Keller Williams. What did your business look like before coming to EXP? And then you're really just kind of in a few sentences, why did you join EXP?
So at Keller Williams, I was there from 2015 till 2 years ago, right? Was it 2? Yeah, 2 years ago. And it started out pretty good, and I loved the training. It was really great. Went on ALC, was doing a lot of things. Basically, I was doing everything for free and not really getting any return, teaching constantly. And my son joined actually under you. My son left Keller Williams, went to EXP, and he kept telling me, you've got to come, you got to check this out. And I had pushed it off for so long. I mean, people had told me, and probably other people on this call may have felt the same way. I don't know. I was like, no, they're just, attracting agents that, I don't think anybody there does any production. I just was blocking it off because I thought, I'm really good here. I just had no idea the difference it would make in my life. So I had 13 pending transactions. My partner, who was the top profit share earner in that market center, he and I left on a Sunday night. He said, that's it. Packed everything up and went to EXP with 13 sales. Just, all we did is run around and, put our new EXP stickers on all the signs that were everywhere. And we came in and we said, we're just going to get into production. That was really our goal. let's get into production. And little by little, I started to see like the stocks. I was so psyched. I mean, that was something to me, I call it my 401k. I don't even know what's going on. It just goes in there automatically. And I found that was amazing. We had a team, but we started to build a team here as well. We kind of restructured a little bit. And actually right now we're more building a group and not a team because it makes more sense. So for us, we kind of restructured a little bit and gave everybody their independence, but basically helping other agents. And in that sense, I'm trying to grow them because I see the difference that can make.
That's amazing. Talk a little bit. So you said your focus right now is more turning towards growing a group versus a team. What do you mean by that?
So with the team, we had a director of operations, transaction coordinator. We had some agents that came on our team, but it felt like we did a lot of the work. We were just in meetings and, let's say we were just focused on building the team, but not really recruiting because we were just too inside. We had a operations person that was very, I think her mind was a little small. She wasn't really thinking as big as we were. So we kind of fit in her boss. We basically hired her to be our boss and we shrunk a little bit. And then, we decided we're going to go more of a group and help more people instead of staying with a tight, we had like 4 people on our team. They weren't producing quite as much. And so we decided to just open it up to more agents in a different way. And it's been better. And I mean, you might be able to see, I don't have a lot of people, but I've been attracting more people since we've changed and we went to more of a group setting. And I've been doing, yeah. So I think that's
cool. So let's unpack that. I felt the same way you did when I was running a team. So I made a similar pivot. So this is a fun conversation for me. So you're here at EXP now. It's been a couple of years. I know when you came over, it was just trying to get settled in like everybody. I did the same thing. I got EXP stickers, slapped that over my KW logo, and I was off to the races. So now, how many agents in your total organization, and then how many have you personally sponsored so far?
So total, it's personally, I have 11. I just had another one can't come over in my front line, and then I think there's 3 below there.
3 on the second level.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll call it 11 frontline, 14 total. So, and I love having conversations around this because I feel like most people are just getting started. So this is perfect right where you're at. So I really want to unpack this and talk about, those 11 people, how do you get them? And then talk a little bit about how do we start growing that? How do we start duplicating that? Because a big thing in what we do with attraction, and we probably don't say it enough, but if it doesn't duplicate, we shouldn't do it because it's the whole model is duplication, because you can have 100 wide, and you'll see if you look at the reports that come out on a monthly basis. If you're in one of the influencer groups, I think it might be beta and above, but I can post that in the group later as an example for you guys. Every month, you see everyone in the company who's attracting agents, and some are really wide on the front line, but they're not duplicating deep. And all the money in this, all the residual fun of it is in the duplication. It's building out those 7 levels. That's the power of this, is having those 7 levels. So you have 11 frontline recruits, and you're right on track for what my goal was. For those of you that don't know, my goal when I first joined EXP was to sponsor 5 agents per year for 5 years, so 25 total, and then help them duplicate and allow that to build out into 500 total agents in my 7 levels. And from what I was seeing when I first joined the company, that to me looked like I'd be earning about $25,000 to $30,000 a month in income, minimum. That was like the minimum that I was looking at earning. And that was like my exit strategy. So you're right on track with 11 in 2 years of what my 5-year plan was. Now it's time to keep doing that and then get some duplication going. So let's unpack that. So maybe share like what your strategy is around attracting agents, maybe take us back to when you started, like what was your mindset when it comes to attraction? were you pursuing it? What was your strategy? Did it work? And then let's fast forward to today where you are.
I was not focused on it because I was too set on building my team and production, because I needed the production. And it basically, the people who were on the team signed up under me. So a lot of them just came, obviously, they stayed, well, they came on the team and they came under me. And then I'm trying to think exactly how I'm answering this. So, well, can you just repeat that a second?
Yeah, there's a lot in the question. So those
I'm like-
11 people, like, so you said when you first joined, you weren't really focusing on it. So
Right.
when did you decide, hey, we're crushing it in sales, we're doing well with sales, the team aspect of it, we're not loving it. Like, when did that light switch for you where it was like, I'm ready to actually start pursuing revenue share now, and I'm going to start working on it, kind of like a part-time business and growing
Last
this
year,
group?
about
Last year is when it
November of
started?
last year.
Okay.
I do masterminds. I'm a John Maxwell certified leadership coach. So I was doing
Okay.
some masterminds and inviting people to those. I also called an
Perfect.
expired listing. It was an agent who didn't even live in the house. He came on, he brought a friend on.
So let's pause right there, because that goes actually back to Carolina's question about doing masterminds on a monthly basis. So talk about how you structure that, because I think that's an amazing strategy, leading with value first.
Mhm.
So you obviously have a special certification through the John Maxwell organization, which is awesome, but I would imagine, others can use a similar strategy to what you implemented. So talk about, how do you structure that mastermind? What's the frequency? How do you get agents there?
So I also have a Facebook page. It's called Scripts, Tips, and Coaching with Lisa Axios. I have about 240 agents that are on there, some from all over the place. So I started doing that in the beginning. And then the masterminds I would do at 8 o'clock on Monday mornings. And I started with how to become a person of influence, because that's what you want to be. You want to influence people, but that's basically more giving back and being, helping others. And that's how you become more of an influencer. So I started with that and asking questions. The most important thing I think ever is asking questions, because people like to talk about themselves. So I put together an interview list that basically asks people. So this is from the mastermind, it turned into private conversations. And the private conversation started with, their dreams and what are their goals? What did they do in the past? What do they want to do? And by the time they were done telling me everything, they were like, I just want to follow you. I want to come and work with you. And it was just a template I began to use. And that was my secret sauce, I think, for getting some people over.
So this is really good. And this is a tangible strategy that people can use. So I want to just dig into the details a little bit more. So you start this Facebook group. What was this after you joined EXP, or did you already have it before EXP?
I did it right before, because what happened is I taught scripts at Keller Williams during COVID.
Okay, perfect.
So then when I switched, I put everything on to Facebook and decided to do the same thing.
Okay, so you start this Facebook group.
Yeah.
How did you get 200 plus people in it?
Inviting them, putting it out there, and other people shared it. Sometimes I just go through and invite people. I also promote events here. Like, we are in a shared office space, so we have a great spot for training, and I'll invite people for training. And I don't know, it just grew. It grew. I wish it would grow more, and I wish all of those people would join EXP, because that would be
Yeah, exactly.
for them.
Yeah, all 260 and 40, whatever it was.
Like that.
So this is cool. I love it. It was initially a virtual strategy for that Facebook group, but then you're also doing local stuff, which is amazing. So for the virtual strategy, are you doing it once a week, and are you just going live inside the group?
It varies. I feel like I was really consistent for a bit, but I am not as consistent as I was, but I usually put a script up there. Sometimes I show myself, sometimes I'll put something else that I think is of value on there. And sometimes I'll do a script practice with someone else or interview someone. And it's just been kind of all over the place, but people love it. They do say things all the time, like, how do I get on there? Can you find me a script on blank? So they're always asking for scripts from all different brokerages. So
Yeah, that's scripts is something that is a great free piece of value to offer, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a video, or whether it's a live like mastermind type environment, because people are always thinking, what do I say to clients? Even if they hate scripts, most agents are still kind of like, I wish I was more effective in the conversations I was having with my potential clients. They just don't want to call it scripts. So they kind of think of it like that. But people are like, oh, I want to know what she says to be successful. I have a free script download that I advertise on my YouTube channel, and it gets a lot of opt-ins. So yeah, the idea is you want to build your list. You want to prospect that list. So prospect the list that's piqued their interest. And then you want to present the opportunity, that's sharing and having them watch a video with you, either virtual or in person. Brent Gove Model Explain, or EXP Opportunity Explain that Lars did, both great videos to share. And then we want to pass them for a three-way call. Like, that's a whole process. So what we're really honing in on right now is the building the list part of it. And when you're looking at your Facebook group, I'm just curious, do you think of that as your list, or you kind of just like, well, I got this Facebook group, I'm gonna go live sometimes? Like,
you're
how
making me
strategic
feel
are you?
like I'm leaving it on the table, and I don't know why. I mean, here it is. It's like my database, right? And I'm kind of being too passive. I'm being too passive.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
problem. I admit it. I've been too passive, and sometimes I listen, and what do they say? Your ego gets in your way, right? But
Mhm.
you get kind of I don't know, shy about asking somebody who you really think would benefit and who's probably doing amazing in this business, and I don't ask them. So I don't know why, but I need to turn that.
Yeah, your ego is not your amigo, right?
Right.
I heard something great about ego recently, and this is off topic, but I just want to share it. It was something like, so however much money you're making, and then how much you're actually like saving, or how much you're spending. So the amount you're saving is like the size of your ego. So if you got like a really big ego, you're just spending all the money you're earning on things that you probably shouldn't be spending money on, because you don't have that income yet, but you want to appear successful. And I just thought that was so interesting, such a good way to look at it. Because if you had no ego, you could live on 20 grand a year, make 100, and make a hard push for financial freedom over the next 5 years. So I just thought that was a good way to look at like savings rate. So I just want to share that real quick. It's about my head. So, but yeah, one of the things you said, Lisa, was like, I wish they were all in EXP, or I wish it was growing faster. Than the next thing you said was that you just weren't doing these masterminds consistently.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson that we can all take. I've been guilty of it. I'm a very like seasons type of person. Like, I push hard during seasons, and then I relax. That's just, I'm all in or all out. So I'm very consistent when I'm on, and when I'm off, I'm just like, I'm off. I'm living. So, but the thing is, and we all just need to understand that if we're not consistently putting in the effort, it's not going to consistently grow. With one caveat: once your group gets big enough, it consistently grows with or without you. That's the power of revenue share. And like, aside from the residual nature of the income, it grows without you eventually. Like, that's why this is so powerful. Like, your real estate sales will never do that. But you're on such a great trajectory. You're doing the work. I mean, most of, at least half the people on this call, they're like, I just want to get my first 10. So they're like right kind of in your footsteps. And I love the strategy. I think this is a strategy. When we talk about duplication, I think this is a strategy that duplicates, because a lot of agents just feel like they either go through their warm market really fast and now they don't have anyone else to talk to, or they're a newer agent to the industry, a few years, they're having some success, but they don't have this big Rolodex of agents they can reach out to. And this is a very simple strategy. Like, literally after this call, within 30 minutes, you could have the group set up. whatever topic you want to teach on, and you could send invites to 100 different agents, probably 10 or 20 will join. And now you got this small group, and then you just continually add people to it. And before you know it, you could have hundreds and maybe thousands of people in this group. And now you're the thought leader in that group, and you're just giving away great free value. It's such a powerful strategy. And then you can teach the people who join your organization how to do the same thing. Like how cool would that be, Lisa, if you had like the playbook on how you got those 10 agents through this strategy to give to that next person? Because the reality is, if you've been selling 1 to 2 houses a month for the last couple of years, there's something that you can teach to other agents. You have a niche, you have an expertise in something related to real estate, and people will follow you. You know, if you're teaching, you know, how to do open houses, you might not get the whales of our industry in your Facebook group, but you're going to get probably every agent selling 6 to 12 homes a year that's trying to figure out how to double it. You know, if you're teaching like a mega open house strategy. So I'm fired up about what you're doing. I think you can really turn this into something special. So let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk about the stuff that you're doing locally. How do you do that? So you got the shared office space.
Yeah.
What's the philosophy around that?
So it's really cool because we just have, we rent this one small little spot that we have, but we have the use of 2 floors. So we've done some events here, especially, when we first came to EXP, it took us a couple of months. We had an amazing, event, just, telling people where we went. And that was great. But we have a training room, and we will teach anything, like how to do an open house, or how to, have a great buyer consultation. So you have your clients sign right up, when they choose to work with you and only you. Listing presentations, or when you're at an open house, what are the 2 most things, what are the 2 best things you can say when you're there? Are you a neighbor looking, curious about the value of your house, or are you a buyer looking to buy? They have to choose one, right? So I'm a neighbor, great. I can come over right afterwards at 4 o'clock. When I'm done, I'll give you the value of your home, and that works. So I think, it's nice to have, a lot of what I do is scripts because I love them. That's what I learned. I learned scripts, got my first $1 million listing on the grass outside during a bold class, making the expired phone calls. And I was like, oh my God, now what do I do? So I love that. And if you can teach new agents that's the low hanging fruit. It's working again right now because things are expiring. There are some.
Yeah. Right now expires is a great thing to be teaching on because stuff is expiring and people are just looking for additional ways to generate business. So
some of the other things, I just want to say one other thing that we do is we bring in attorneys who will come in and talk, or we bring in any kind of vendor, so that therefore they send other people as well. So having a vendor come in, they bring lunch and invite other agents, and they talk about things that are going to be relevant to your business.
How are you inviting agents to these events, to these masterminds?
I always put it on scripts and tips. We do some phone calls and emails, and we don't have the best turnout. I must say we don't have the best turnout. We were very consistent for a bit, and then we were doing Friday afternoons. We were doing a Friday afternoon free coaching Fridays. And then it kind of mixed up because we brought in vendors who couldn't actually do those days. So we have to get back on that. Any suggestions for me?
Yeah, what comes to my mind is just, again, consistency. I was just thinking the biggest reason why this kind of stuff needs to be consistent is because you've had agents that have come to either your events in the group or your events at your office there, and they're like, this is great. I love what Lisa's teaching. This is helping me. And then it sounds like maybe there's been a couple months that have gone by where you haven't done anything, and then they forget about you. They're not plugged into what you're doing anymore. And then they're starting to think, well, I'm not getting a lot of value at my brokerage. And then they start looking, and then they join a different brokerage, or even though they're not that happy, they stay because they don't see a better option. But if you're consistent with delivering the content over time, you're in front of them every month, a couple times a month, when they're having doubts that is this broker I'm with the best option for my career, and you're giving more value than the broker is, spending more time with them, you're consistent. That's when you start converting these people. It's like, like these two strategies that you're sharing it's powerful, it's gold, but it's like with any strategy, if it's not done consistently, you build up and then it just falls. So like what it's like a funnel, right? Like your top of the funnel is a really good strategy. It sounds like the consistency and the back end just isn't really in place. So you're not getting consistent drips out the bottom. That would be agents, sign up at join.exprealty.com. So I think this is good for everybody. And I've gone through this in my sales career and traction career, but what we need to be thinking about is what strategy am I going to implement? And I think it's a great strategy. I think it's one that you stick to. And I think it's one that if you guys don't have a strategy, this is one that you can implement pretty easily for really no money too. Like, it could be done free. Like Lisa mentioned, getting vendors to buy lunch. And, if you need to get office space, you can probably go to your title company, your lender, they'll open up their conference rooms for you. Coffee shops have meeting space open as long as you spend like $100 and everyone's going to buy a coffee while they're there. So like, this is a really low cost strategy too, but you got to be thinking like, this is the strategy that I'm going to do for the next 12 months, no matter what. If I don't see any fruit in 12 months, then I can reevaluate and maybe try a different strategy, but it can't be like, just like I guess a half-hearted attempt. If your goal is to build a big rev share group, because there's so many strategies that work in this, and we're just talking about top of funnel stuff. This is the prospect part. This is the build the list part. Then you got to get good at peaking, presenting, and passing, which Lisa with scripts you great at. So usually most people never get started with the process because they don't have a list. They haven't taken time to build it. So you've already accomplished that. Now you just got to start putting them through the process and stay consistent with it. So I would just like from today forward, Lisa, then we can do another call next June when you got 100+ people in your group. And
I have 200 on my goal. I have 200.
200?
200 is my goal. I read it every night before I go to bed.
Okay.
It's 200. I just wrote this out. And
That's awesome.
being here right now, I feel like I'm having a private coaching call with all these other people watching. So
Yeah,
I feel very
awesome.
excited. And I'm committed. And I feel embarrassed because I teach the law of consistency. And I've been kind of, I do the John Maxwell thing. I sell houses. I have 5 kids. I have, I have a business, I'm like all over the place. So
yeah,
I need to streamline. And I have a business coach that, through the Maxwell team, who's like, you just need to like get yourself into, I have to stop being everywhere. And this is starting today.
That's good news. I have good news, Lisa. You're human, so you deal with this kind of stuff. By show of hands, who's 100% consistent all the time in every area that's important to them? I'm in gallery view scrolling. By show of hand, where's the robots at? Okay, there's no robots on here. So we're all like that, Lisa. And the important thing is, and the way we just get better at it is by staying in groups like this, getting accountability partners, we call them running partners, having a coach. I just had a coaching call with my business coach last weekend, and he's coaching me like a coach would, obviously. And I'm pacing around my office here, kind of getting frustrated with myself a little bit, feeling silly. Like you just said, I coach consistency. And because I literally said to him, this is what I also coach people on, but it's because I'm human. I need those reminders. Everyone needs those reminders. So it's good to give ourselves grace in that area, but also be like, enough's enough. How do I go from being, 30% consistent in the activity that's important to me, whether it's the gym, whether it's rev share, whether it's your real estate business? How do I get that to a 50%, within 3 months, and then a 70%, and then eventually you can probably get, close to 100% in sales activities where you're super consistent with it. So it's just progress. So to get to your 200 number, I would just say, all right, so I'm going to do one virtual mastermind a week for 30 minutes, an hour. and then maybe one in office, one every month, like so, whatever a good rhythm is for you,
Yeah.
something that's doable, something that isn't going to overwhelm you with based on your current schedule, and just stick to that, and then put a little bit of a plan in place for how you can follow up with those prospects. But you said, naturally, it sounds like you're good at getting on a call with people or having a conversation, and then you ask great questions because you're in John Maxwell leadership coaching, so you're able to have a great conversation with them. And then it sounds like they self-discover through that conversation that they're like, okay, Lisa's someone that I want to follow. She's obviously a very successful businesswoman. She's a leader. She's someone who can help me. I see value in working with her. And then they join. Like that is, you got everything working. It's just doing more of it. And then that's when you'll get to your 200. Because the key part, and this is something important that everyone needs to hear, until you have 25 people in your front line, you really can't even look up and look around and wonder why your group's not bigger. Because based on the numbers from what I've seen, you got to have about 25 people, 20 to 25 in your front line before you find that one builder that's like you, that's excited, that's going to build it big. So when you only have 10, it's kind of like, well, shoot, I've been here a couple of years. I wish I was farther along. And then these doubts maybe creep in your mind, or you're wondering why it's not working. But it's because you just don't have 25 yet. So hopefully that's encouragement to everybody to just be like, okay, hey, I don't need to worry about having a bunch on my second level, a bunch on my third level right now. I just need to go out, get 25 frontline. And then in those 25, one person is going to be my running partner that's in my group. You can have running partners outside your group. That's great until you have them inside your group. Then you want your running partners to be inside your group, because obviously that's how your group grows. So that's it. I mean, this is just a super business. This has been really great, Lisa, by the way. Thank you for coming on. Thank
I
you for
really
being
appreciate
honest,
it.
authentic.
I feel like one other thing that I opted in on the health insurance, and I hadn't done that for a while. And I must say, it's been awesome. And that's a huge thing for realtors. Me being a single mom with 5 kids, I struggled every year as a real estate agent trying to show my paperwork. And, you have to like hustle through to try to figure out what you made and, where you can find your health insurance. This has been consistent. It's been awesome. So I feel like that's another really big one for especially families.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've had agents join just because of the health insurance. Like that's what initially really piqued them to get them on. A couple questions here. I want to run through those real quick. Kathy Burns mentioned, would you share a template? Did you, when you said you have a template, do you actually have a template for something that you can share?
I do. Yes.
All right. If you wouldn't mind posting that in a group in this thread, that would be awesome. Adam Crossan just affirmed what you're doing, giving away free content that's high value. That's what draws people into your world. And Lisa, what was the name of your Facebook group again?
Scripts tips. Oh my gosh, now.
Scripts, tips, and strategies. Either way, don't.
Scripts, tips, and coaching with Lisa Axio.
Okay, perfect. So don't join it. That's her group, but you can look at it from the outside and see what it's all about. Chris Mullenberg says he's been holding monthly masterminds locally for 18 months or 14 months, and it turned into consistent 25 to 30 people every time. Wow. And people are loving it, and they're coming to talk to him now about EXP. Awesome.
In person? Are those in person?
Yeah, put in the chat there. Chris, is that in person? And then Jeff Lewis reminding us of the 4 P's: peak, that's the prospecting part of it; present, pass, and then promote. That's the 4th P that probably doesn't get talked about enough. And promote ties into Shannon's question. So promote is promote the next event, promote the next touch. So you got someone interested in EXP. They've seen the presentation. Actually, they've seen it with you. Don't be sending out videos. Like, that's the old way to do it. It doesn't work anymore. Actually watch the video with them. And then they're kind of like, well, this is cool, but not interested to join right now. The first step is you want to get them on a 3-way call with somebody, whether it be a growth leader, Amy Weaver, or Sean Murphy, or somebody in your upline, sideline, downline, doesn't matter, but a three-way validation call. But if they're like, well, I'm not really ready for that, then you just want to get them to other good EXP videos that you like. Ideally, you have like a partner page that has the videos already on there, or you have like a templated email that you send out that says, hey, here's a few videos I want you to watch. You want to do your best to control the second, third, fourth, fifth exposure versus them going to like YouTube, finding their own videos. For two reasons. You don't want them to get misinformation, one, and the second, you don't want them to find somebody else that they might think would be a better sponsor, because that happens too. All right, cool. What would be, Chris says yes in person. We'll have to have you on, Chris, too, to talk about that. So to wrap it up, we're at the top of the hour. Lisa, what is just one piece of advice that you would give to somebody looking to really get started in their attraction journey or just take it to the next level?
I feel like it's the Zig Ziglar quote when he says, the more people you can help get what they want, the more you get what you want. And I feel like that's just been a motto, coming from contribution, being a person of integrity, doing what you say. And I think all of that together, but basically helping other people be better helps you out. And I struggle with that because I felt like I need production to keep my life going. But now I feel like the table's going to turn. I feel it really, I feel it deeply that things are going to turn. And I feel like that 200 is just around the corner.
That's amazing. I think it is too. You're well on your way. You have the foundation built. Now it's time to construct the walls. I'm not a builder, so whatever the term would be for building the walls. And then you add the roof and all
You're
the
a
windows
people
and all that kind of
builder.
stuff. Yeah, there
You're
you
a
go.
people builder. Where do you
This
want me
group-
to send the template? Where am I going to put that?
Yeah, in the Facebook group. So this is being
Okay.
live streamed inside Game Changers Nation Facebook group.
Okay.
Just put it in that comment section would be awesome. Yeah, this group used to be called Builders back in the day. For all of you OGs, this group used to be called Builders, and then it was Go Getters, and then the last and final name for the last 3 years has been Game Changers. So we were the Builders at one point. That was a little confusing though. People were like, what's, builders, are we building houses? What are we doing over here? So, well, cool. This was awesome, Lisa. I think that's great advice. I love that
I
Zig
really
Ziglar quote.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel very grateful to be here right now. I feel like 2 years ago, I didn't know how good this was going to be. I mean, I got $1,000 just the other day, just all set, didn't do anything. I got it in my account, and I'm like psyched. And now I want to help other people obviously get that as well. It's amazing. What a gift. It's a gift.
It's powerful. I mean, from having 10, 14 people in your group to get a rev share check with $1,000. I mean, that's powerful. My mortgage when I joined EXP, actually I bought my house after I joined EXP, but my mortgage was $1,200. That pays for a lot of people's mortgages, or close to it. So it's a powerful thing. It's exciting what we're doing here. And the mission from this point forward for you, Lisa, and everyone on the call is just to do more of it so we can affect more lives, live our dream lifestyles while also serving others so that they can achieve the same. So awesome. Thanks for everyone coming on. Again, reminder, build event 23, or you can go to brentgove.com. There's a tab for events, so you can see all the events that Brent does. Tammy, that'd be a good place for you to go to see all the upcoming events for attraction that you asked about. The room block does end tomorrow night. I was on a call with Brent a couple of days ago. They got extended from today to tomorrow. It could be afternoon, could be night. I would just do it by tomorrow morning to be to make sure. Stay here one more second. I'm gonna bring up what Jeff said. Jeff, do you have the link for that by any chance? The State of the Union. Perfect. Jeff's on it. The build event, guys, if you can swing it, man, it'd be so good. Even if it's just you showing up, you just get there. Fly in Monday morning. It starts at 2. Fly out Wednesday night if you can get a red eye. If not, you gotta stay till Thursday morning because the event ends at 6. I'm flying in Sunday morning, so I can just enjoy Sunday at the water park by the pool, hanging out with you guys. And then Monday is going to be epic. Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be epic. And then I fly out Thursday morning because I don't want to miss a thing. But I would love to get back to my babies a little sooner. But this is the Super Bowl of attractions, so you got to be there. So the EXP State of the Union, guys, tomorrow, Friday. Jeff put the link. So it's 4 p.m. Eastern. It's not in the morning. And I believe it's not even the company leadership meeting. I thought it was at first when I saw Brent text me on this. I was like, oh, it's part of the leadership meeting. I believe it's not, because I think leadership meetings around noon. But regardless, there's going to be some important announcements during that call tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, expstateoftheunion.com. It's going to be Glenn Sanford, Brent Gove, Michael Valdez, and Jay Kinder. I do not know what they're going to talk about, but I know it's important based on the way it was promoted to me. So no, it really is. I'm excited for it. I don't know what it is. I don't want to hype it up, but I'm going to be on it, and I'm usually completely off on Fridays is my goal. So I'm going to be there. So try not to miss it. Jim says 20 minutes long, so it's going to be short. I think there's going to be some real announcements. Well, cool. Hey guys, we went a little bit over. Thanks for being on. Thanks for staying with us the whole time, and we will see you guys next week for another attraction call, and then hopefully at Build. So see you guys.
Thank you.